Hey guys, it's your girl Bean, and welcome to your favorite late night
Do what
sessions
you
with
gotta
your one and
do.
only girl Bean. Today we're chilling with the amazing, the wonderful, the multi-talented Gilmore Tee. And yeah, I mean, guys, Gilmore is everything. Gilmore is a TV host slash columnist slash content producer slash fashion facilitator slash PR consultant slash radio host. I was gonna say social butterfly, but I don't know how you feel about that term.
Gross a lot. I'm not a social butterfly. Listen, hi, my name is Gilmore Tee. I work in the creative space, and I'm ready to work. That's how I introduce myself because I'm involved in so many things. So I don't want to have like a term that describes what I do, because I do whatever that I'm gifted with, and whatever that I have a passion for. I do it.
And I was saying, when I Googled you, it said that you're a socialite. I mean, I don't know what a socialite is, but based on the description or definition that I have in my head, I don't think you're a socialite. What is a socialite actually? Do you think you're a socialite?
I don't know either. It's funny because every time I receive, like, when journalists write an article and then they say Gilmore Tee, the social or whatever, and they send me the link and they're hoping that I'm gonna share on my social media platforms, I never share. I always get back to them and say, can you kindly fix that term on your online articles, because obviously the publication is out already. So I feel like a socialite is someone who's literally like attending every social event. I don't do that. You will see me at an event, either I'm working at that event, either I'm curating that event, or either I strongly believe
you're not
in
just
the
there
idea
to
that
show
is
face and
being
just
showcased at the event, or I'm supporting a friend. That's the only thing. No, I used to, but not anymore. It's just that you take so much of yourself because you want to live up to what society expects of you, and then you lose yourself along the way. So because I am a leader in the creative industry in Zimbabwe and in Southern Africa, it doesn't mean that I should be everywhere else. But society expects you to be everywhere else, because if you don't show supporting, if you're not, it's a lot.
True. Who or what would you say inspired you
but I don't
in the industry and, in all your different corners of it?
In the creative industry? Sure, who inspired? I don't even think it's anyone. I was, before I even got deeply involved in the creative industry, I used to work for a diplomatic organization, and my background was a lot of development work, and I was a cultural coordinator for this French organization, and I was there for 4 years. And I think I would say that's where my journey started, because when I was working at that French organization, I used to interact a lot with creatives, because creatives would be wanting to go to France, to Paris, and etc. But I realized that in most cases, creatives will come through. They're extremely talented, but they didn't know how to put themselves together. They didn't know the professionalism, the packaging, the PR. So I think that's where my journey started. And then I left that organization, went to work for a humanitarian organization in Senegal. And then when I came back to Zimbabwe in 2014, 15, I made a decision that, with my development background, with my NGO background, I am going to work within the creative space, because I want to build a gap between the creatives and the diplomatic space and the corporate and the ET, because I have experience in that space. I've worked in it for 5 years or 7 years. Now I want to help, because I love the creatives, so I want to help to build the bridge. So I would say I was inspired by what was lacking. So I look at a situation, I'm like, I don't like this. That's what inspires me most of the time.
And how long have you been
person
in the industry, being a creative?
Sure, I think being creative, can I be, and I'm gonna sound like those kids, those kids that you see on American TV. I think I've been at it since I was 11 years old, because when I was in grade 6, I did a painting at my primary school, and then that painting was selected from the whole school to go represent my school. And funny enough, my office is at the National Gallery in Bulawayo. That's the place I went to, and that's where my painting was showcased. And that I remember going there, and I was fascinated by the paintings. It's been a decade now. Goodness, I started in 2009.
Yo, you've been
11 years now of working in the creative industry. I've been.
No, you're fine. Why? Getting better with time. Getting better with time. Yes. You mentioned earlier on that you're a global citizen. What does it mean to you to be a global citizen?
A global citizen is basically, I strongly believe that living in a space obviously there's borders, which is why we need to use our passports when we're traveling to different countries. But I believe that the technology and our dreams, our aspirations, they connect us. You can be from South Africa, you can be in Germany, you can be in Zimbabwe, you can be in Congo, but you find that we all share some sort of like a dream for a better world, meaning that we're all living in a village. But for me, I call myself a global citizen because for me to be who I am today is not only inspiration from Bulawayo, or I wasn't brought up by Bulawayo Upela. I was brought up by so many other people. When I go to Germany, when I go to Senegal, when I go to the UK, to the USA, to the Netherlands. So I've gotten the opportunity to see different spaces, and I've realized that we're all the same, and all those different spaces have contributed to who I am today. So that's why I'm a global citizen, because I believe the globe is a village, and I've seen it because of the travels that I've done. I've seen that we're all the same. We're all here for the same thing.
Nice, great stuff. And the spaces that you've been in are just amazing. Forbes 30 under 30 alumni, Mandela Washington Fellow. Yay! Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So, how was that for you? How was it being selected, and what does that mean to you? And how was the journey to get there?
I think with every recognition that I've gotten, like the Mandela Fellowship, the Global Change Maker, the Forbes 30 under 30, I think I always say my journey started when I started working in the creative industry 11 years back, when I said, you know what, I'm deciding to work in the creative industry. That's when my journey started. So everything else that I attain along the way for me are just an acknowledgement of the hard work. Really caught up in the fact that, oh my gosh, I'm on Forbes 30 and boom. I look at it, I'm like, okay, it's a recognition. I appreciate it. I embrace it. But it's not my final goal. That's not where I'm going. This is my journey. So I'm passing by. It's almost like when you're going to work, you pass through, when you're driving by, you pass a bus stop, you pass a shop, you pass whatever. For me, all those achievements are literally along my journey. But that's not my final destination. Hence, it has helped me not to put it in my head to say, oh, I'm on Forbes 30 under 30, the whole of Africa. I'm like, okay, cool. That's a good recognition. I really appreciate and I embrace it.
Yeah.
But it just shows me that I'm going the right way. But it also indicates that I have in the right way I want to go to. I feel like every individual that I've met along my path, along my journey, they've all contributed to get to where I am. So me being recognized as a Mandela Washington Fellow, as Forbes 30 under 30, for me, it's like a nod to say, listen, you're not really far away from where you're going, but keep it moving. Don't get stuck in it. And because a lot of people, especially a lot of young people, get caught up in the awards and all these things, that they actually forget that they have a purpose.
They're doing the right thing.
A vision that they're supposed to go and reach.
Yeah, that's true. So let's talk about your trip, because Gilmore, yay, that trip is forever.
First of all, I have no idea what a fashion facilitator is. What is a fashion facilitator and what do you do?
Okay, so this is, it's a story. So this is me. Anything that I'm good at so many things, and some of the things you haven't yet discovered them. So like, I feel like God gave us blessings for them to work for us. You know what I mean? So if you like singing, you gotta make that money. If you like talking, do that podcast. If you like doing this, do those things. So for me, there's so many things that I'm good at and that I do. But the things, like every time I make a decision that I'm going to do this, like when I made a decision that I want to start writing, I always make sure that when I get back into writing, I want to do it on a higher level. So the moment I went back into writing, the first gig I landed was a columnist for the Standard newspaper in Zimbabwe. And then a few years later, boom, I'm writing for GQ Magazine Africa and Glamour Magazine. So I always want to do it on a higher level. So with fashion also, I have a very strong interest in the media space, in film and fashion. So with the fashion, I'm not a designer, but what I do is that I am good at networking. So I've built a strong network with different platforms across the globe, like in Ghana, in Nigeria, in South Africa, in the US. So what I simply do is, because I have those networks, I know in many cases when an opportunity comes in this, I get an email from Nigeria saying, we need a Zimbabwean designer. I then help scout for the Zimbabwean designer, because I've done some works with Edgar Stores. So I know this thing of quality control, all these things. So then I scout for a Zimbabwean designer that I then present to these guys, and then that designer gets to be a part of
the plug.
Whatever that's happening in Nigeria. So basically, I'm a facilitator. I am the one who's like a middleman. I'm the one who has the connections. So I'm the plug. Basically, I'm the godfather. But I don't design. But I know people that design that I know are good. I facilitate them because if Marilyn, I'm a designer, nobody's gonna listen to them. But if I go and I speak, some people listen to me because I've built a relationship with these people. So that's what I do with the fashion industry.
I see. Great stuff. So, while we're still on the drip topic, let's talk about Pichani.
Let's talk about Pichani. For those of you who live under a rock and don't know what Pichani is, it's a beautiful, lovely Pan-African fashion and lifestyle platform that Gilmore Tee has. And yeah, spill some beans for us about Pichani.
Yeah, Pichani. So the Pichani. First of all, the name Pichani is a Swahili word for gathering.
Okay.
So, hence it's like the gathering. So it's a fashion and lifestyle gathering. That's what the Pichani is about, right? You have already said that. So for many years, I think the last time I used to produce a lot of fashion shows, and the last time I produced a fashion show was 2016, and that fashion show that I produced won the best produced. I won the award for best producer in Zimbabwe. But then if I got to a point where I was like, I'm doing fashion shows. We sell out, we get a lot of coverage, we're all over newspapers, everything is popping and etc. But what's the sustainability to it? And then I couldn't get that answer. Then I stopped doing fashion shows in 2016. Then I started doing a lot of attending different platforms. South African Men's Wear Fashion Week, South African Fashion Week, Durban Fashion Fair, Ghana Fashion Week, etc. Going to these different places, attending them. And my attending was not because I want to look fancy on social media, but I was attending because I wanted to learn how other people are doing their fashion shows. I realized that we are just, in Zimbabwe, we're doing a lot of showcase, but we're actually not doing anything in terms of creating sustainability, selling products. So then I came back, I was like, you know what? I will start a platform that does, only introduced Pichani last year. So Pichani is also just a platform for people to have business in terms of in the fashion space. But first of all, to also be the challenge that I face, especially when I'm facilitating for Zimbabwean designers to showcase outside, is we struggle to get good Zimbabwean designers because most of the designers are like copy and paste. So it's like they get a Glamour magazine and they copy what's in Glamour. They get a GQ and copy what's in there. So I realized that what makes South African designers, because they have an identity. Why we like Mama Xhosa, because he's talking about the Xhosa people and he's doing it in a very stylish way in his clothes, in his socks, in his whatever. So the Pichani is a skills exchange platform, which is number one, where we're going to have designers getting exposed to the different cultures and in Zimbabwe, the Chewas, the Ndaus, the Ndemeles, the Shonas, the Xhosas, and then they get inspiration from that so that when they're creating stuff, they're creating things that have substance. So it's skills exchange. We're building the gap between the older generation that has more information and the younger generation that think they know it all. Secondly, the Pichani is a business platform. People we're going to have an online platform and we're going to be doing pop-ups where people can sell their products. Even when people are coming to the Pichani like this year, I think our designers were complaining, saying, oh my gosh, we're so overwhelmed because Pichani people want their outfits. That is my purpose, and that's it. Business. The last thing is to showcase. As much as you have learned and you have designed your clothes and you're making money, people need to see your things so they can purchase what you're all about.
And another thing, Gilmore, you do such amazing work. Like when Zoom 7's almost with MTV Sugar.
I must say,
yeah, within already.
Sugar is the best educational show I've ever seen in my time, personally. Followed by Soul Buddies, which was yes, big.
It's amazing.
But yeah, I must just say, I personally really love your work on Sugar and just addressing these societal issues and issues there youth. On behalf of Umphakathi, I just want to say thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. I mean, and I'm always so grateful because this year when MTV Sugar was showcasing at the different cinemas in Zimbabwe and the different universities, so many people turned up. And for me, that's a beautiful thing. People from very different backgrounds were there attending because they enjoy the show. Even when the cast members came down, they loved it. Members were blown out. Now they're like, we need to come back
they
to
were
Zim,
so happy
bruh.
because
We never expected it. They never expected it. They were never ready. So, no, they were just like, oh my gosh, it's a vibe. And I'm like, great. So for me, it's MTV Sugar. It's anything that creates sustainability. I jump on it. Even if it's not me who's doing it, if someone that I know is doing it, I'm there to support it. MTV is about passing on information. We're talking about societal issues that are affecting young people, how young people are being exposed to HIV and AIDS in different forms, and we're bringing it in a very entertaining way. That for me is something that I value, and I think is creating sustainability. So I'm always excited
because I don't know how many times I've rewatched and Sugar Down South.
I think it's amazing.
Like, it's so informative and in a relatable way, you know?
Right?
It is.
And how has working on such a project impacted you as a person?
MTV Sugar is personal to me, because issues of especially HIV and AIDS, I've had so many personal situations where I've lost someone very close to me to HIV and AIDS, and even though you are not the infected one, it has affected me in so many ways. And I look at it and I'm like, for me, it was a very personal decision that I made, and it's actually, this is the first time I'm even talking about it in terms of personal journey of it. So I took it because I've had very close beloveds that we have passed on from HIV and AIDS, and people that I wish I'd known longer, but I knew them when I was younger, but they've passed on. And I realized that, there's need for me. Maybe why this is me, which is a bad thing, is because I need to do something about it later on. So I didn't realize it's going to take me so many years for me to see a platform that allows me to share that knowledge, and for me to engage in it, and to help, share information and educate people on the different ways that people are contracting HIV and AIDS. So when the opportunity came, I realized it was speaking to me, because I really felt I needed to do something about issues, societal issues, but mainly HIV and AIDS. Yeah. So it's been like a very personal thing for me.
No, I siyabonga as umphakathi, like, no, really, thank you, because the issues that you touch on, the societal problems that you tackle,
things that are happening, but no one wants to talk about them, well, my sex education and contraception and all these things.
Yes. They're taboo to talk about.
The youth is covered thanks to you. So sorted.
Hi, you're welcome.
So okay, now I'm
sorted.
gonna ask for advice from you having been in this industry for a decade plus. When dealing with people, especially like interviewing people and so on, there's a spectrum of fandom that moves from totally sincere and nostalgic to fandom that now lacks critical eye, which is just recklessly devotional kind of vibes. You being the genius, the guru that you are in all your facets of the industry, I'm sure you've also done some work where you're also low-key a fan, Yana, kind of. So how did you manage to keep that balance,
Yes.
What's your attitude towards creative direction and content that intersects or centers or stems from fandom? How do you now balance ukuthi ungabi too,
Yeah. To talk to someone who I'm looking at, I'm like, oh my gosh, Nkosi, my goodness, oh my gosh. I do a lot of role playing when I get to do some work, especially when it has to do with interview, where I take myself out of the situation and I put myself as someone else. I'm still Gilmore, but I sort of like give myself a name. And then the moment I take out Gilmore from that situation, I'm going to be very transparent and very critical in terms of the way I have a conversation with this person. Because I think the moment you allow fandom to also, to be a part of your interviews and things that you're doing, you lose the important thing, because you need to realize that you, as someone who's interviewing this interviewee, you are an instrument. You are literally a channel for other people that have no access to this person. So take yourself out of that situation. Think of Mary, who is in Cape Town, who loves Nkosi so much, and then think of what Mary would ask Nkosi. Think of what Mary would want to, to know or learn. So I always take myself out of that space, and I'm a child when I approach it, because I approach things as a child. A child asks questions like, why is the sun orange? Why is the trees green? So I take myself into that situation as a child, and I always think of people that could be there that are not there and that I'm representing. The moment I think of that, I know I'm going to ask stuff, and I'm going to be very critical. I'm going to be very open about the way I conduct my
I've always wanted to know
with this
that.
person. What I really appreciate is also you are a vessel. So right now you are acting as a channel between this person that you're talking to, and those are the many people that want to hear what this person has to say. And I think we need more people like you. We need more people like you that allow themselves to be used by God as vessels to transmit information from one end to the other. That's what you're doing. You're like a telephone, literally.
I'm the
You're not even the telephone. You are the cable that connects the telephone to the next thing. You are the connector, man. You are the plug.
Yes.
Yeah. You see?
So
that's that, to be honest.
So I'm going to go into something a bit deeper.
I
know. I mean, like this year, there've been a lot of uncomfortable conversations being had. You know, we are trying to unlearn generational what and, change narrative in so many things. So we've heard quite a number of times about toxic masculinity and healthy masculinity. But what does the term conscious masculinity say to you? What does it mean to you?
Yeah. I think it's for me, when you say it already, it's like I know that I'm masculine, I know that I'm a man, but I need to be very much aware of what that term, being a man, being masculine, means in society. But also, so I need to be aware of it, but I also need to be aware of what the opposite means when you're a man. So for me, it's just basically knowing and acknowledging that you're a man and you're masculine, but at the same time, should not deprive yourself from feeling some type of way. You should not also use that to undermine or deprive other people from being themselves because you are a man and you're masculine. So it's being aware, it's knowing that you're a man and you're masculine, but being aware of the effects that it has to the next person, and also not allowing that to affect how you feel and how you do things.
It makes sense. Yeah. We are also trying to challenge gender-based violence and victim blaming, rape culture. What might some of the barriers be that men face when trying to challenge rape culture, sexist behavior in their circles?
I think what's funny? I was having a conversation with someone about gender-based violence, and they were also talking about women equality and child, etc. And then I said the biggest problem that we're doing as a community and as a society is that every time we have conversations that have to talk about gender-based violence, every time we have topics that have to talk about equality, we exclude the men in the equation. So you have a conference like women delivery, no offense, but it's only like women there. But I'm like, okay, what point is there if you are going to stand in front of the mirror and you are screaming in the mirror instead of going and telling the person that who has wronged you? So in the situation is we're having these gatherings that are only talking about girl child, about equality, and these gatherings are not inclusive. So while we're achieving the goal of having the gathering,
we're trying to find a solution, but we're excluding the people that
while
we're
trying to say, we're trying to be inclusive and create equality. We're excluding.
Like bring them in. Let's.
That needs to know. That needs to be part of the solution.
Let's ask them why they do the things they do. Their corner. Yes, I get what you mean.
Bring them into the conversation. Let them sit in and let them be a part of the solutions, and also bring why is it that there is so much gender-based violence. And gender-based violence is not only towards women, it's also towards men. So this thing has to be inclusive. So I think that's the biggest problem we're facing, that when we're doing these things, we're excluding the people that are supposed to be part of the solution. We're only involving the victims. But the perpetrators and the people that are leading to these issues, they are not there. So how do they know how this is affecting you?
This is actually the first time someone is speaking in this direction.
Our approach needs to change.
Like, it's the truth. No, like it's the truth. Like if we want to get to the bottom of this, let's ask the people that are doing it. How come? Why? Yeah.
Why are you doing it? How come? What can be done? Let's find solutions together. Because when I just so I can come and whatever you, and then when you go instead of coming and screaming and crying in front of me, you go and look at yourself in the mirror and start going he for 1 hour. What have you done?
Another person? Because as far as you're concerned, you don't know who to
exactly
the best thing, or you feel like okay,
and that person if they go and cry in the mirror.
So, yeah, no, I get it.
Exactly. So let's involve the people that are the result to that. Let's involve them. Let them know how you feel, why it's bad, and how they can be a part of the solution. We rather, like, it frustrates women's conference. I'm like, girls, or we're having a men's conference. I'm like, guys, you are talking about issues.
Yeah.
The other gender is the one that is also bringing problems to this. So why are you not including
that needs to change? And what are you planning on doing for the 16 days of activism this year?
That needs to change. There's an organization that approached me to be a part of their campaign. I'm still waiting for the details because I want to know the details. But I, as a person, coming from a home where I lost a father when I was 3 years old, and I was raised by a mom. My mom is a king to me when I look at it. My mom is a king. And I was raised by my aunts. I was raised by my grandmother. I was raised amongst my sister. I have one sister and my cousins. For me, I have so much high level of respect towards women. I always say to my friends, if I go into a space where a man is going to challenge me, trust me, they will be on each other's throats. But then if I go into a space where a woman is challenging me, I tend to take a step back, because I have high level of respect for women, because I was raised by a woman, and that woman is a king to me. So everything that has to disturb my king, my queen, which is my mother's peace, and anyone else who looks at my mother and see themselves, I need to be a part of it. So even if I don't get to do some work with this organization on my personal capacity, I think I'm going to go through a 16 days of sharing information. I'm going to go through a 16 days of even profiling women that are bringing change in society in different fields, because I do have the platform. I do have people that listen to what I say. So why not use that platform to profile these women and raise the importance of, let's not deprive other people and other human beings from being themselves. Let's stop violence. Let's stop killing women, because if you educate one woman, they will raise a whole village, like how my mother raised me and my siblings as a woman. So for me, it's again, it goes back. It's a very personal experience, and I'm going to use my platform. I'm not going to work with this organization.
No, not even. You're preaching,
I sound like a pastor, right?
Yes, but not like a pastor. No. but that rhymes.
Of course. No,
but anyway, imagine a whole pastor.
Imagine
another important question that I had: who is God to you, and what is spirituality to you? What does it mean to you? How important is it in your life?
You know, like, we need like a whole episode for this. For me. Wow, I'm such a spiritual person. It's crazy. When you're operating within the creative industry or in the entertainment space, I think there's this thing of shying away from your spirituality, from your God. But for me, I'm such a spiritual. Even the projects that I do, even the projects I take up, I pray about them. You know what I mean? Like, if someone comes and presents something, I meditate about it. If it doesn't connect with my spirit and my purpose, I don't engage in it. I let it go. And people don't understand sometimes, because I'm such a spiritual person. I'm even aware of the spaces I go into, of the things that I engage myself in. And it's funny, when you sent me, not that I'm talking to you, but when you sent me a message and I was going through your questions, my spirit connected, and I realized I needed to be involved in this conversation. And I feel good about it. I feel like I've gone through so much, and I feel like my cup is full, and there's something that I need to share. I need to pour into other people's cups. And I felt like your platform was that when you sent me a message. So for me, God is love, God is spirit, God is in us, and we are God, because we're his children. Automatically we become him. It's almost like a son of a king is a prince. A daughter of a queen is a princess. We are of royalty. So God is love, God is spirit, powerful. God is in us, God is with us.
That's also the truth.
We are God. Yeah, that's the truth. But even for me, when I'm working on that, like I'm saying, it's funny, I can think, it's like Pichani. I'm going to tell you something. When I thought of the Pichani first time, last year when we did it, I went and I prayed about it for the day. And funny enough, in the morning, I woke up and I literally, it's almost like God comes. That's how I'm connected to my spirit. God will come and say, okay, this person is going to provide you with PA system. This one is going to do your food. It comes to you like ideas. This one is going to do that. And trust me, when I went to those people, they did exactly that. So I realized, because I'm connected It's like they'll be waiting for you. They don't know who they're waiting for, but they're anticipating something. And when you get there and say, hi, I want you to sponsor food for 60 people, they're like, yeah, okay, cool. That's not a problem.
Yes.
It's like they've been waiting for you. So it shows that because you are connected to a higher power, that higher power makes everything around you work for you. And for me, I always feel like creatives need to connect spiritually. They need to have a very strong spirit.
You need to have that filter, you know. Let your spirit filter for you, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Discernment. Yes. So that's that. So that's my spirituality, and I'm connected. Guy, I don't play games. For me, even when it's a small thing that looks small, I always strongly believe that everything that comes my way is meant to pass my way.
Yes.
But I need to ask God if it's meant for me or it's not for me. So even if it looks like it's too big, or it looks like it's too small, that's why I'm not fazed by a lot of things. Even if they're big platforms, I embrace them because I know they belong to me. They would not come to me if they didn't belong to me. So I was like, oh, you're on the MTV Africa Music Awards platform. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I embrace it. I embrace the moment.
Yes.
It's not my destination. It's another step. So I pray up each days when it's not mine, it goes. Yeah.
Gilmore, you're dabbling in so much. You have your finger in every
sister.
pie.
Amen.
You have your finger in every pie, and you make it seem so easy. How do you maintain or rather ensure a balanced life? You know, some you time, some family time, some time with your friends.
Sure. Today I actually went for my me time. I had to go for a 1 hour massage, like a deep tissue massage, because I was tired. So the thing is, like I mentioned right in the beginning, that I think a lot of people, a lot of things that I'm very good at is going to start unfolding as time goes by, because I take time to study things. I take time to study dance. I don't dance, but when I watch a dance routine, I'll be like, this is not well done. This is well done, because I take time to study certain things. I get interest in certain things. So, for example, why I have so many fingers in so many things is because those things I'm good at, and I know when I do them very well. So I feel like they always come at a season. There's a season where I'm very much strongly in media and I'm on TV and radio. When I do that, I make sure I do it to the higher level, that when people watch, they're like, yo, that TV production was amazing. When I'm writing, I make sure I go on a high level where someone's like, oh, he's writing for GQ magazine and for Glamour magazine. That is next level. When I'm going to go into, let's say, grooming fashion designers, I always make sure that those designers live out there, and when they go to the world, they're the most outstanding. So for me, anything that I'm good at, anything that God has blessed me with, I make time for it, because He would never give me something that He doesn't want me
sit on your gifts and bury them
to use, or He doesn't want me to allow to manifest. No. I know that one day we're all going to pass on, but I want to pass on where I'm like, damn, I did everything that I was good at. So there's more stuff that you're good at to see, but everything that I'm good at, you see me doing. If you see me doing something, it means I have a strong interest in it, and I'm very good at it. I never engage myself in things that I don't know about and I'm not good at. So I make time for it. If I like it and I enjoy it, and if it's one of my purposes, it's one of the things that I'm supposed to do on this earth, I make time for it. But I always try to block, because my friends will tell you that I can go for 3 days without responding to messages. Usually when it's those days, I'm making time for my family, I'm making time for my personal relationships, I'm making time for myself, because I think when we're in relationships or we're with family, we tend to forget ourselves. I always make time for myself. I take myself out for dates. Like literally on Sundays, I take myself for pizza and whatever. And people that I even go to when I'm going to eat, they even know that he's coming by himself, this one. Yeah. So I make time for all these things. I try to balance it. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. It's really not easy, but it's one of those things that are just a must, because balance. Anyway, thank you so much for your time.
We are done, but before us hamba,
we're done.
We are wrapping up the year 2020.
This was dope.
It was. I had so much fun.
How would you describe this year, and what have been your highlights for you and personally and in your career?
This year was a God's year. It's like God was doing whatever He wanted to do. It's like also, even for me, when I look at the pandemic, it felt like we have been grinding and we thought we were machines as human beings. We kept working and working and working. And God says, I'm going to put a pause. I want you guys to stop a little bit and look at the man in the mirror. and we had to deal with ourselves. We were forced to face ourselves in the mirror. Like, look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I happy with this person? I thought this year was that. And, you know, it's like everything just stopped functioning. And for me, it's actually my first time spending more than 6 months in one place. My very first time.
Yeah,
I've never spent so much time with my family. Like, literally, we've been together since March. So for me, it was that. But also, secondly, it was such a hurtful year because I lost one of my very... literally, my father. My father passed when I was 3 years, and I was raised by my grandfather, who gives birth to my mother.
My deepest
He passed on this year in July. And I was hurt. I think I've never cried that much. Thank you. But I lost him, and then along the way, one of our friends, Calvin, in the industry, passing on, such a painful thing. And it's like I'm saying, I felt like God was just doing whatever He wanted to do, and He was just God was sort of like showing that I'm God and you are human beings. I have control over certain things. We will never understand why certain people had to pass on the way they passed on. But it was a year of introspection. It was also a year of realizing that we don't have the power. We need to connect back to the source who gives us the power. Because I think as human beings, we tend to think, because I
tend to overestimate ourselves. We are given control, but at the end of the day, He's like, but we don't. The final say is mine, but I do give you some leeway.
Yes. You know what I mean? So it was that, and it's funny now, even when I hear someone is passed on, it's like I'm numb. I don't feel anything. I'm just like, oh, wow. Okay, another one. But I think in that whole space, we're learning that we need to be still, very still. For me, I'm learning to be very still. It's been a year full of stillness, but personally, on my profession, I think this was my most flourishing year ever.
The bag was
It's crazy. There was a pandemic, but this was the most flourishing year for me ever. Do you know, like every week is a phone call. We want you to do this, because I've taken time to build an understanding on how to maneuver around social media and also build a social media following. So I didn't realize that all these years when we were doing that, in 2020 it's gonna be our advantage, where corporates now want to be online, and you are the person who seems to know how to maneuver around social media platforms, NGOs, diplomatic spaces, embassies. So for me, this year was one of the most flourishing years ever. I even started building my house this year, because I bought land some years back, and then I started building my building. I started doing it this year. And everyone kept saying to me, how are you building during a pandemic? I'm just like, God has been faithful to me, guys. You have no idea. So it's like at the same time, while he's saying, I'm going to put a still to the whole world.
He's been coming through.
And he's been.
It means we still have work to do.
Yeah, we're talking right now.
Sisekhona, guys.
Yes.
It's been, but sisekhona.
It's been, but sisekhona, and we silenjongo why we're here. Our purpose, we have a purpose. Everyone has a purpose, and we have to make sure that we're serving within our purpose. The same way other people come to us and serve and be of service to us, we also need to be of service.
This has been nice, really.
No, this has been so cool. But can I just say something before you say something? I just want to say thank you for using yourself as a vessel to pass on information from one end to another. Not so many people are selfless to allow themselves to be used to channel information and to channel inspiration and to channel messages, because when you have a conversation with someone, they have a message for someone else. But sometimes you are the one who hears the message and you don't allow it to be heard by other people. But you have a platform that you have created that's allowing you to be used as a vessel to transfer information, wisdom, education, inspiration, motivation from the person that you talk to through yourself to the other people. So thank you for allowing yourself
it's my pleasure.
to be a vessel, and thank you for being selfless about it. And thank you for allowing me to use your platform to also share whatever I had, because my cup was full, and through your interview I felt like I poured.
No, Nyabonga kakhulu, Gilmore. This means a lot to me. Thank you so much. And thank you also for coming here and sharing your story with us, inspiring all the young people out there, and telling us that our dreams are valid, and Jay coming on here and sharing your personal milestones. You have really built the soft life for yourself. I wish you all the best in the further building.
I I built it. Ain't nobody got snakes.
Ain't no snakes here. Awuthwalanga and shit. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. That was the amazing Gilmore Tee, and I hope you guys enjoyed our little chat that we just had and were really inspired by his journey. I'm not leaving you guys empty-handed. I'm leaving you guys with the award-winning Song of the Year, Amalobolo by Ngoma Ingoma. Stay blessed, guys, and I hope you wrap up your November on a high note as you step into the festive season of December. Take care, stay safe. From your bean with the biggest love.
Sesi diskati Tomangangawe Yeswela magama ngetini guwe Hey, izoski Pinkomo za malobolo Awesthandwa sami Ube kwaza ngetali ngawe Hey, izoski Pinkomo za malobolo Awesthandwa sami Ube kwaza ngetali ngawe Hey, ngifuna ube kwazi noma kungathini ngithanda wena ngifuna uhlala ukwazi noma kanjani ngithanda weza wena ngifuna ube kwazi noma kungathini ngithanda wena ngifuna uhlala ukwazi noma kanjani mina ngithanda wena noma kungathini ngithanda wena ngifuna uhlala ukwazi noma kanjani ngithanda wena izoskipha inkomo zamalobolo awesithandwa sami ube kwaza ngidlale ngawe oh mina ngizoskipha inkomo zamalobolo awesithandwa sami ube kwaza ngidlale ngawe ngibhala le ncwadi ngifuna ukwazi ngothando lwami kuwe sesisideskhathi mina ngicabanga ngawe ngiswela amagama ngithini kuwe ngizoskipha inkomo zamalobolo awesithandwa sami ube kwaza ngidlale ngawe oh mina ngizoskipha inkomo zamalobolo awesithandwa sami ube kwaza ngidlale ngawe ngifuna ube kwazi noma kungathini ngithanda wena ngifuna uhlala ukwazi noma kanjani oh ngithanda wena ngifuna ube kwazi noma kungathini oh ngithanda wena ngifuna uhlala ukwazi noma kanjani oh mina ngithanda wena ngifuna ube kwazi noma kungathini oh mina ngithanda wena uhlala ukwazi noma kanjani mina ngithanda wena kuwe wethu enhlizweni yami noma kanjani ngithanda wena ngithanda wena ngithanda wena ngithanda wena everybody let's go izoskipha inkomo zamalobolo awesithandwa sami amalobolo awesithandwa sami ubekwazi angidlali. Everybody let's sing together. Ngizoziphi ingoma zamalobolo wesithandwa sami ubekwazi angidlali. One more time, let's go, let's go. Wesithandwa sami ubekwazi angidlali. One last time, let's do this. Awesithandwa sami ubekwazi angidlali ngawe. Hey, ngifuna ubekwazi noma kungathini, ngithanda wena. Ngifuna uhlala ukwazi noma kanjani, ngithanda wena. Thank you.